This week we began, of course, reading from the book of Devarim, of Deuteronomy. And the book as a whole is Moses' lengthy swan song. In his final days, he imparts wisdom to the people of Israel. Yet it is a book with some contradictions. Moses takes credit for things just suggested to him in the book of Exodus. Events that took place in Numbers are recalled differently than they originally occurred. Things are not always quite the way they seem. And the same holds true, it seems, in our news from Gaza. Reports of famine, reports of Hamas hoarding foods, a photograph of a mother holding a starving child is broadcast around the world. Later we learn this boy suffers from a muscle disorder and other grave genetic conditions unrelated to starvation. None of that diminishes the tragedy of this child's suffering, but we are in the midst of a moment of information warfare. Things are not always what they appear to be. In this blizzard of ideological fiction, how are any of us supposed to know what's true? How are any of us to know really what is the right thing to do? But here is something that I think we do know. There is hunger and starvation in Gaza. We know that even when aid makes it in, sometimes there's chaos at the aid sites and people are unnecessarily killed. The aid isn't reaching many people who need it. Too many have not eaten for days. This is a humanitarian crisis, and it is a bit of a moral crisis as well. I stand here as a proud Zionist, and I pray that the words in the Torah upholding the ideal that each person is made b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God, will continue to guide us and those who make policy in Israel. I pray that the most often quoted sections of the Torah, to care for the powerless and to love your neighbor, all neighbors, remains always forefront in our minds. Everyone, especially innocent victims caught in the crossfire of this quagmire now entering day 663 or 4, I think at this point, deserves freedom from want and freedom from fear. There's an interesting comment on the first word of Parshat Devarim by Rabbi Mordechai HaKohen, who uses the common midrashic convention of putting in vowels or re-voweling a word that is traditionally written in the Torah without vowels. He says at the beginning of the book of Devarim, that begins, Ele hadvarim, these are the words that Moses addressed to all Israel. He says, don't read it Ele hadvarim, these are the words, but Ele hadvorim. These are the bees or the wasps that Moses addressed to all Israel. The words of Moses in Deuteronomy, he said, are like the sting of a wasp. They cause pain to the people stung, but they also cause the death of the wasp in the process. Moses dies at the end of the book of Deuteronomy because speaking harshly to the people of Israel has taken so much out of him. The validity of criticism of Israel, I believe, is measured not always so much by the accuracy of the comments, but how much it hurts the speaker to say them. Anti-Semites often say the same things about the Jewish people that Isaiah and Jeremiah might have said, but it comes out completely differently because the anti-Semites offer the words of criticism with satisfaction and without anguish. Similarly, within families, words of complaint and reproof hurt the person who hears them, but do they hurt the person making the criticism to have to say it, or are they uttered with a sense of vindication? The country of Israel has long defied the odds, and I am reticent to criticize it, especially as someone who's not an Israeli citizen living in this relative safety of the United States. But I think we do call upon the government of Israel, and I do at least, to hopefully abandon the mistaken idea that withholding aid weakens Hamas. we should, or they should, relieve Gaza with food as much as possible. It's the right move morally, and I think strategically as well. I say this as one who loves Israel and desperately wants this war to end, who wants Israel's enemies to be no more, who wants the hostages home, and who wants Israel to be safe and peace to come to that region of the world. Amen.